I enjoy playing it because all my friends come along and they have fun as well, and we have fun.
It means to be included in a sport that I love playing. It means that I get to meet new people all the time.
I want to see if I can be the new best basketball player.
I am a coach for the Minis junior basketball section for the Aces. So we work with the children that are ages 5 and anyway up to the age of 10. And it's basically for the children that are that have problems with their lower bodies, and it's just an opportunity for them to get used to playing in a chair and also to learn the basics of sport really. So it's the multi-skill side of things, so their coordination, their balance, their agility whilst they're in the chair. So then hopefully when they progress onwards and upwards through the age group of the Aces, they can have the basic skills in order to then learn the more technical part of wheelchair basketball.
A lot of spinal cord injury people are young because they're accidents, they're sporting accidents, they are maybe motorbike accidents, car accidents. So it isn't, some older people, but a lot of people are young people, and rehabilitating them through something that they'd be interested in was obviously a key thing. And then why wouldn't they then be competitive? Young people playing sport are competitive, aren't they?
Rehab is a very complicated process, which is essentially taking the person as they are and looking at what we can do to get them working as well as possible, despite the fact that the majority of the body systems don't work anymore. So it's a combination of medicine, nursing, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, psychology, the person themselves and the family.
Holmes has got this under control. Holmes is going to win his 6th gold medal, and he does. Corral takes silver, and Reddish gets the bronze for Great Britain. But the story of these Paralympic swimming events is all about Chris Holmes.
Looking back now, it's incredible how the games have developed. When I started, there wasn't really very much funding. There wasn't any sponsorship. In Seoul, when we went to the games there, the Paralympic village had to be built in a completely separate part of town to the Olympic village, because they said if they used the Olympic village for Paralympic athletes, for disabled athletes, they wouldn't be able to sell those apartments then because disabled people would have been in there. That's the kind of start point where the games were very separate, very different, very low key.
One of the most important things that Sir Ludwig Gutmann actually recognised when he first started looking after people with spinal cord injury was that people needed to regain strength, they needed to learn lots of new skills, but they had to do it in a way that they would actually want to learn and that would make them stronger. So although it sounds pretty routine now, it was quite revolutionary back in the 1940s that Sir Ludwig Gutmann took a group of people who were very competitive. They were young, they had maybe come from the forces, and how was he actually going to make people better? And naturally, for those young people, it was actually competitive sports. It didn't really matter what sport it was, but he actually looked at any sort of sport that would actually get people being able to do from a wheelchair. It got a group of people working together. It got people competing against able-bodied staff, so it really sort of increased morale and camaraderie.
There's been such incredible positive change in terms of equality between the treatment of Olympic and Paralympic athletes over the years. I think what we saw in the journey to London and then at games time and post-games on almost every measure was a real sense of people seeing not an Olympian, not a Paralympian, but a world-class, great British athlete.
With the advances which we are now able to do in medicine and surgery, One of the big things that we would hope to be able to see with the Paralympics and the Paralympians is for them to probably achieve a far greater level of fitness earlier after rehabilitation. We were looking at them being far fitter when they leave hospital, and by using more assistive types of technology, which means that we don't just let nature take its progress, we actually try and influence what's happened with their injury. We would hope that they will be stronger and fitter and able to compete more.
I remember last time I came to training there was a few kids came in to watch the session, and their parents said that we have to go, and it kind of really took it to heart, because it's watching disabled people play sport, which I think is just phenomenal.
Having been lucky enough to compete at 4 games, to then be given the responsibility of leading the team who were going to plan and deliver the games in our city, in our time, just brilliant. But being no doubt, the challenge was extraordinary. When I started the role, pretty much 1% of the public could recognise a British Paralympian. Statistically, pretty much nobody was prepared to say they were strongly likely to buy a ticket to come to the Paralympic Games, and I knew we had to sell every single ticket, and I also knew no previous games had ever done that.
For me, it was a huge difference to watch London 2012 compared to Stoke Mandeville 1984, where Stoke Mandeville in 1984 had really been organised in about 3 months, and it was great, it was fantastic, but it had a sort of school sports day kind of feel about it. For that to, within quite a short period of time really, to be London 2012.
Rio have got 4 more years in us, and they've got all of our learnings. No reason why they can't put on a games at the next level, and then going forward to 2020 and beyond. Still so much to be done, still so many areas of the world where Paralympic sport needs to be developed.
I think the future of the Paralympics should be the same. I don't think it should necessarily mix in with the Olympic Games. As I said previously, I think it just gives more of an opportunity, and it shows people what sports are actually out there, and that you don't have to be able to take part in a sport. You can actually have a disability but still be a world-class athlete.
I think London 2012 has been the best promoter of equality. I think the fact that using the same venues, the feel of the whole games was just so similar. The fact that the Paralympians and Olympians actually used the same accommodation or whatever. But I thought we won't get equality until they're actually held probably at the same time.
I say to any young disabled person out there, if you want to have a go at archery, boccia, athletics, swimming, cycling, whatever it is, believe that the time is now.